people who don't perform have to sit on the bench while the other players get a start, then that's what he had to do. Our center backs got punked against Porto, and if the only way to discipline them is to sit them on the bench. And listen, I don't buy into that bullshit he says in the press conference where he's like, we have a lot of players and we have to rotate them. So if he is preaching that that's what we should be doing, then I'm Ten Hag out. He wanted killers and winners, right? Like winners, people who don't lose a game and then go out to the nightclub. Like if you lost a game that ate you up inside for the next 2 days and you showed up to training and trained harder. Hello, what's up? Thank you for joining me once again. It's been about a week since my last video and we've had 2 games, 2 draws since then. Every Manchester United fan should be feeling a certain kind of way, whether you're a Ten Hag out or Ten Hag in. So let's sit down, have a chat, and try to make some sense out of this nonsense. So here we go. First thing I want to talk about is the 3-3 draw against Porto. We started that game pretty good, and then it all fell apart, and we went back to our old ways. Yay! And their forward, Somu, whatever his name is, started making our center backs look like little girls. And that's an insult to little girls, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to be sexist, but you know what I mean when I say that. We didn't look like good players. Fuck, do I need to re-record this so I don't get canceled? No, I'm just going to go with it. Anyways, that forward starts to punk our center backs around, and they work their way up to a 3-3 draw and another lousy game for us. Then we move forward to the next game. In the Aston Villa game, Erik Ten Hag decides to go with a different center back pairing and puts in Maguire and Johnny Evans. And don't get me wrong, I don't like starting Maguire and Johnny Evans. God bless them. I know they try hard and they're really, really good players. They got the right attitude, the right personality or what have you. But we kind of want to move on to younger, more talented players. And I agree with that notion. But I disagree with the players who were complaining about Maguire and Johnny Evans starting before the game started, mind you. That, oh, what's Erik Ten Hag doing again? This is why he needs to get sacked because he makes bad choices. But if the man is trying to change the culture, which inevitably is the biggest issue we have at this club, if he's trying to change the culture and instill like a new culture, I guess is the word, of people who don't perform have to sit on the bench while the other players get a start, then that's what he had to do. Our center backs got punked against Porto, and if the only way to discipline them is to sit them on the bench. And listen, I don't buy into that bullshit he says in the press conference where he's like, we have a lot of players and we have to rotate them. What did you want him to say? Did you want him to say I was trying to teach them a lesson, so I put him on the bench? Because the last time he said something like that about a Jadon Sancho or anybody else, the last time he criticized a player, we all got mad at him for criticizing a player publicly. And now we're getting mad at him for saying, I'm trying to rotate my players. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid because us fans need to be smart enough to understand what the actual politics behind the scene, what is going on. Now, do I agree with everything Erik Ten Hag does? No. Am I Erik Ten Hag in? I don't think so anymore, and I'm going to explain why a little bit later. But I am going to sit here and defend him when it comes to these kind of stupid things I see all over the YouTube, the internet, the Twitter, whatever, where these guys who have a lot of followers, a lot of viewers, a lot more than me, I'm nobody in this space, are saying these things where you go, man, are you dumb, or are you saying this for clicks? I shouldn't say dumb. Are you looking into this deep enough, or are you just kind of saying the first thought that comes to mind? The reason why he took Marcus Rashford out in the Porto game, I saw so many people on Twitter going see, he was the only one that was a threat, and he took him out and he put him for Garnacho because Rashford wasn't tracking back or whatever, or because Erik Ten Hag felt like Rashford was at fault for the first goal. Maybe, but I, watching that game 2 minutes before Marcus came out, or maybe 5 minutes, but within 5 minutes before Marcus came out, Marcus was bent over, holding his shorts and breathing heavy. It looked to me like something was wrong, I don't know, back pain. I don't know, none of us know. But the point is, neither do these people who are complaining about Marcus being taken out of the game, just like they don't know if the manager was actually rotating the center backs in the last game against Aston Villa away to Villa. You would sit down your quote-unquote starting center backs because you need to rotate them. I don't think so. I think he was trying to prove a point, disciplinary point, trying to change the culture in the team, because that's the worst part of our team. Think about it. Players who come to us perform worse. Angel Di Maria, Paul Pogba. We've always said that. We buy a player, they start playing worse. We say that's like we get banter on us all the time because of these things. And then forget that. What about the players we already have? Players we already have don't perform at the levels that they're supposed to. And that's not an Erik Ten Hag problem. That happened with Solskjaer, that happened with Ralf Rangnick, that happened with Jose Mourinho. So we're not going to sit here and say Erik Ten Hag is the worst manager in the world and our players are much better than this and Erik Ten Hag can't get the most out of them. Yeah, but neither could anybody else that came before him. With that said, there was a moment in the Aston Villa game where Bruno made a pass that I particularly hated. It was a one-time, one-touch around the corner trying to get Rashford past the back line, a through ball. The thing that drives me nuts because we do it 200 times a game. And then they cut to Erik Ten Hag and he said, good pass. Fuck. That was the moment where I always say these things in these videos. If you go back and watch my old videos, I always say things like, I'm not Erik Ten Hag in or out, but I have a feeling it's the players letting him down, that he can't be giving them these kind of instructions, that if he is giving them bad instructions, then he does need to go. I don't think Erik Ten Hag is telling them to rush, pass the ball super duper fast, and then if the pass is bad, they get countered on, then there's these massive holes in the midfield. And then I saw that, and I saw him say, good pass. Fuck. That was not a good pass. That was not the kind of touch and decision you would want Bruno to make, or at least that I would want Bruno to make. So if he is preaching that that's what we should be doing, then I'm Ten Hag out. I'm not saying I'm Ten Hag out right now, right this second. Yeah, I guess I kind of am, because he did say good pass. If he's not going to change, if we're not going to try to retain the ball and pass it around and create chances without always counting on this one pass that's going to create a chance, one pass that's going to split their defense and create a chance for every fucking play, then I'm Ten Hag out. Yeah, but that's why I'm Ten Hag out. Not because of these other reasons that these other people come up with on YouTube or Twitter, because I don't actually agree with them there. I think they're misseeing things, or they're misleading you to get clicks or views. I'm not sure which one, but anybody who's being impartial and is watching this game patiently and trying to understand what the manager's trying to do would not place this much blame on Ten Hag, because it's not all to blame. But I don't want that tactic. I don't want that one-time through ball pass for the goal tactic to be our main source of chances. That can be something we use 3, 4, or 5 times a game. Every team should. A quick counter should be implemented 3 to 6 times a game, but it shouldn't be the only way that your team knows how to create a chance. And now I'm scared and nervous after seeing that. That is the one thing that makes me think that maybe it is time for him to leave. Now, time for him to leave means what other coaches are out there. I'm going to make a video about what coach I would want, but after I do some more research and watch some more games of the coaches that I have in mind. The coaches that I have in mind, I have not watched enough games for. And guess what? My next video that I make, I will not have watched enough games for either. So that video is not coming next week. And the reason why I can take my time and probably wait until mid-November or December to make that video is because I don't think Ineos is sacking Ten Hag anytime soon. I just don't see it happening. I think it's just not a good time right now. Probably in mid-November to mid-December, somewhere in there would be a better time to get it done. I don't think it's we're having a big meeting tomorrow, a meeting on Tuesday where all the top people of Ineos are going to meet and talk about what's going on and the problems that need solving. I don't think anything's going to come out of that. I don't think we have a resolution. I don't think, some people think that he's going to get sacked. I doubt it. I don't think they were ready to make that kind of decision. I don't think they thought that it would go this bad. And they're to blame too, by the way. They're to blame too. They knew what kind of football the man wants to play, and they spent their money on a midfielder who can't progress the ball. Yes, he can break up play. Yay. That's not what he needed. He needed someone who could break up play but also progress the ball. And guess what? Casemiro is actually better than Ugarte. Casemiro passes forward much better than Ugarte. Not a little bit better, a lot better than Ugarte. Now, some of you guys might be like, oh, look at these statistics. I don't care. I saw it with my own eyes. Ugarte came and played for us for a couple of games. He did nothing going forward. Not a thing. Did he win his duels? Yeah, maybe, but like it wasn't that impressive. It wasn't Conte-like. Some people were saying he's like Conte. No, I don't think so. No, he's not. He's not like Conte. He can't cover as much ground as Conte. He's not as nimble or as fast as Conte was at his age. He's just not. Is he a good player? Yeah. Do I want him on the squad? Yes, but he's actually, in the long run, right now, on the bench, that's where he's going to end up. He's not going to be a starter. He's a great backup to have to whoever we bring in as a starter to actually play the number 6 role for us. And the fact that Ineos was so adamant about him, and they let Joao Neves, was that his name? The guy who went to PSG instead? I'm so bad with names. Anybody who's been with this channel long enough knows I will mess up names all the time. So stay with me here. And I used to have little graphics of the player pop up here or slide in here or here when I talk about a certain player. And then my computer crashed that time last month, which is why I took a little, I say break from making videos, because honestly, that was depressing. That was 4 months of hard work of getting all these graphics cleaned up, cut out. And anyways, I'm not going to complain, but sorry. Usually Joao Neves, if that's his name, would slide in, and it wouldn't matter if I got his name wrong because you'd see his face. What am I talking about? Anyways, that's one thing. I don't think we're going to change the code. By the way, leave it in the comments. You think they're going to sack Ten Hag tomorrow? I don't think so. Or this week even? I don't think so. I think it happens mid-November and after, and only if the bad form continues. Now, here's the other thing that got to me. We actually did not leave many gaps open against Aston Villa. We went to Villa and we didn't let them create that many chances, and we got out of there with a clean sheet. And people complained on YouTube and everywhere else that Ten Hag is set up the team so that we don't score goals or something. I don't know, whatever it was. But these same people would complain about the massive gaping holes in the midfield when we attack with numbers. It's like, drive me nuts, because make up your mind, man. You used to say the guy used to leave these massive gaping holes, and now you go through a game where the whole team is working together, bunkering in, and making it really hard to be scored on, basically, becoming impenetrable, and then you complain about, oh, we were set up not to lose. Okay, so which one is it? Which one do you want? Which one do you want? Make up your mind, but then live and die by the sword. You can't say, I want to be hard to score against, and I want to create 10 chances. Okay, how? With these players, mind you, with these players, how? These players can't dominate a game, or maybe it is Ten Hag problem. Maybe they can't dominate possession and the game because he doesn't want them to dominate possession. He wants them to do those through balls I was just complaining about 3 minutes ago when I was talking about Bruno and him saying good pass. I don't know, but neither do you, and neither do these people on YouTube or Twitter that act like they do. I don't know. But I think we're going to find out soon, because I think that if the trend continues, and I don't see how the trend changes a lot, we're either going to bunker in and be hard to score against and not create that many chances, or we're going to go forward and try to create chances and leave gaping holes in the middle and then lose. Thank God Onana's having a pretty good season so far. The other thing I wanted to talk about is Garnacho. Everybody wanted Garnacho to start and Rashford to sit on the bench when the season started. I don't hear these people talking anymore because Garnacho is wasteful with the ball. I do like our young players. Don't get me wrong. I love Amad Diallo. I really like Garnacho. I really like Kobe Menu, but these players are young and they don't know. They're not mature enough to handle these type of situations. Garnacho needs to know when to pass, let go of the pass early enough, not when it's too late, when he's like, do I get a chance? Do I get a chance? I guess I'm not going to get a chance. Now I'll pass. Or you're passing 2 touches too late. You should have passed 2 touches ago. It's okay. These are the learning years for these players to mature and get better. But in the meantime, we should have brought in players that they can learn off of. And we didn't do that. And that is an Ineos problem. That is definitely an Ineos problem. Did Ineos have a good summer? No. I'm going to say no. I love Lenny Yoro. I love the fact that we bought Lenny Yoro. I can't wait for Lenny Yoro to get healthy because he definitely gets in our starting lineup the way our center backs are playing. So I love that. I mean, imagine if you want to bench De Ligt and Martinez, Lenny Yoro's on the field. And as long as Lenny doesn't make any mistakes, you're not going to take him. You're not going to bench him the next game. He's going to keep starting. And I love that. And I think that's great for Lenny because I think Lenny took a big risk joining our squad, joining our team. He deserves a lot of chances to get in the starting lineup and to repay him for that trust for coming to us because he could have sat out one more year and gone to Real Madrid. Anyway, so yes, we made some good buys. Lenny Yoro being one of them. Even Ugarte is a good buy. He's not a great buy. That's the thing, but he's a good buy. We needed a backup six like that. That's a better backup six than, say, I don't know, Scott McTominay was or Fred was or whatever, whoever you want to bring up. But did we plug all the holes we need? No, we didn't even look at left back. And how do you put your trust in a guy like Luke Shaw? Luke Shaw, great left back, amazing, probably top 5 ever, not ever, but in the world when he's healthy, top 5 left back. But let's even say top 3 or 4. It doesn't matter if he's not available. I don't care if he's top 1. If he's not available, then he's top nothing. He's nothing. So we should have been looking at a left back. We didn't. And now we've got someone playing out of position there that I want to say is having bad games. He had a bad game against Porto. I want to say he's having bad games, but I also feel bad because he's playing out of position. He played 2 bad games last week against Spurs and against FC20. But he's playing out of position, so how can we blame him? He's playing on the wrong side. Mazraoui, goodbye. De Ligt, goodbye. Xerxes, not convinced. Xerxes, I'm sorry, I'm not convinced. Xerxes, I think there was a video just recently, probably posted this morning by Rio Ferdinand talking to Phil Jones. And they were talking about Sir Alex Ferguson early in the video, like the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever. And Phil Jones says Alex Ferguson talked to him before he signed him, and he asked him one question: are you a winner? Alex Ferguson only wanted to sign people who had that winning trait, that winning personality, not entertainers like a Paul Pogba or dancers like Jesse Lingard or whatever. He wanted killers and winners, right? Like winners, people who don't lose a game and then go out to the nightclub. Like if you lost a game that ate you up inside for the next 2 days and you showed up to training and trained harder, like Cristiano Ronaldo's personality is, like Wayne Rooney's, like, you know, Rio Ferdinand and Vidic, they talk about it all the time. He wanted winners. I don't know if we're signing winners or if we're just looking at statistics and going, Xerxes is a workhorse on the pressing side of the game. I don't know, man. Sometimes I look at Xerxes' eyes in game and I really want this to work out, but I don't. I see someone who's a little bit nervous, a little bit scared, and not so confident in himself. Now, that can change. We can groom him, train him. Somebody can get in his ear and be like, hey, man, like, you can do this job. Puff your chest out. Get out there. Show us what you got. Push some people around and work on your finishing and get in. But also, like, you want that kind of built in. You want that arrogance, that fighter, that winning mentality built in. And we need more of that. And we need to sign a player that can come in for whenever Bruno decides to get a red card or he's not playing that well. Someone else who can create for us. Eriksen's been playing decent in midfield, but we need a younger version of an Eriksen, a younger version of a Bruno, someone who can link up the midfield with the forwards or the defense with the forwards and pass the ball around, keep it circulating, keep it going, not always looking for that quick pass. But again, if that's the instruction coming from Erik Ten Hag, like I said earlier, then it's time to go for Erik Ten Hag because I don't know, man. And obviously, you guys all saw that. I guess you did if you watched the game carefully. You saw that cut where they cut to Van Nistelrooy and Erik Ten Hag obviously disagreeing about something. I would love to know what that is. Not because I think Van Nistelrooy is right and Ten Hag is wrong. I just want to know what it is so I can form my own opinion of who I think is right or wrong. But the man might have a certain arrogance, and it might be his downfall. And I'm okay with that because it's starting to feel more and more like it's time for him to go. Just like this video has been long enough and it's time for me to go. Thank you again for joining me. I will be back soon to talk some more. I've got a couple of other thoughts on my mind that I want to talk about, but the number one thing about this video is, and I think Rio said it, or Phil Jones said it in the video I watched earlier today, culture. The culture in the team, in the squad, and in the locker room needs to be a winning culture. And if that's what the manager's trying to do, and that's why he benched the center back pairing, we need to allow him to do that. That part I agree with. We need to allow him to, if you don't perform, you sit on the bench. That needs to be the way it was the old days. You didn't perform. Sir Alex Ferguson was not letting you play the next game. You had to play, and you had to play your heart out, and you had to play out of your mind. Or at least look like you're trying to play out of your mind. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Bye.